the story I just told you.
Yeah.
And like the story that happened to John recently are all gonna like mesh together into this like. Obviously, we're gonna take it to more insane heights of like this hilarious like
The life of a
sitcom
single
episode.
guy in 2025.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mark Rodney Show. Welcome back. My name is Brody Bowman. I'm here with Ethan DeLeon, my partner in
Insert
crime.
applause.
We love you guys. You're my favorite. I did it one too many times, and I didn't have the third one.
The joke is gone.
Yeah, it's dead. Today, we are talking about Mark Rodney Productions branching out into Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Wow.
Pretty
Some
exciting
big
stuff.
news. Yeah. Just kidding. It's not that big of news. We're aware.
It does take a little bit of an explanation, I
Right.
think, because I think already I've been getting some questions and people are a little bit confused at times.
Right.
So let's dive into what that means and what we're trying to do with Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Just changed from Take Two to Mark Rodney Productions. Mark Rodney's not even your first name, so yada yada. By the way, if you've not heard yet, Mark is my middle name and Rodney is
my
Brody's
middle name.
Mark Rodney Productions.
We thought it made a lot of sense.
Right. It's easy to spell. The domain was available for our website. And so that's where the name came from.
Yes.
So we have Mark Rodney Productions, which has been a film and video production company.
Yes.
And we like to exist in both of those worlds. We've explained this a lot, we feel
Yes,
like.
we have.
But we're going to
On the
try to be...
production side, we do client work.
Yes.
And we do documentaries and commercials and that kind of stuff, right? We serve a client, they pay us to do a service.
Right.
On the entertainment side, what we've always just classified as the film and video side previously.
Film. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like the
That's been
video
our distinction.
Yeah, the video side has been
All the things you just mentioned.
things I just mentioned. And the film side has been narrative work, whether that's a short film, a feature film, a comedy sketch, whatever
Yeah.
it is. It's meant to be narrative, and it's our own project.
Yeah. Fun,
right?
creative stuff, right?
Fun, creative stuff. So we just kind of got to a point where we realized Mark Rodney Productions having that like as the banner and then doing film and video was confusing a lot of people. First of all, people weren't sure what the difference between. So like, what's the difference between video and film? They're like, to people, those are interchangeable
Right.
words.
Some people call like corporate videos movies.
Right,
Which
right.
is, I don't
Yeah.
understand that personally. However,
It's not the lingo we're accustomed
Yeah.
to being in the space,
Right.
but people aren't in the space. It's all the same thing. Video, a movie, a film,
Yeah.
a whatever, what have you.
It's a woozy. It's a wazi.
It's a woozy, it's a wazi. It's a fairy dust. Yeah.
It doesn't
Fairy
exist.
dust. It doesn't exist. So the point is, we felt like we needed to clarify and split these in a more obvious way.
Right.
And so we decided, after much deliberation on what it would be called.
Because we knew we'd be getting questions.
Yes.
You know,
we
so-
needed the perfect name, and so we called it our new branch, which is still Mark Rodney Productions. It still operates underneath Mark Rodney Productions, underneath the Mark Rodney banner.
Yeah, banner.
Is Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Yeah.
And all that means is we have new socials. So Mark Rodney Entertainment's on Instagram. Mark Rodney Entertainment's on Facebook. We are on X, which is new for us.
Yeah.
So if you're a Twitter user, an X user, go follow us there. And it'll have its own YouTube channel as well.
Right.
And eventually, its own website.
Yeah.
So
And for you listening, you are the official fans of the Mark Rodney Show, which is this podcast.
Yep.
And that's going to actually have a playlist on both channels if you haven't noticed that already.
this podcast will be the primary constant bridge between the two
Yep.
channels.
We're going to continue to talk about both. So this
Yep.
podcast is not really changing.
Nope.
We're just separating the film stuff from the video stuff like we talked about. And that's our terms for the client work versus the narrative film and movie work.
Yep. The entertainment. Right now, it's like it's got a name
Exactly.
that I think makes more sense to people. Productions, we're doing client work. And with entertainment, we're making things that are considered entertainment.
Right.
And that also includes other things besides just films.
Right.
So short films, our proof of concepts, our fun trailers that we do, comedy sketches like our Christmas cookie catastrophe.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, right, will all live on that channel. Our new series that's coming out on the making of our first feature film.
Right.
Which by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be close to the time of the first episode dropping, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you can go check that out on the Mark Rodney Entertainment channel. So we just wanted to talk about that a little bit, first of all, to make you guys aware that those new places exist. So if you are the ones listening, are the ones who watch our content. So if you want to see entertainment content moving forward, you're going to see a lot less of that happening on Mark Rodney Productions channel. It's going to be a lot more gear reviews and things that are more specific to clients. And
specific projects. Like there's going to be a lot of some of the newer content that you might have seen on that channel is going to be more in the same vein of what, the future trajectory of that channel will look like. And then the entertainment stuff will be more of the, if you're a Take-Two fan from back in the day, it'll be more similar to that kind of content and obviously elevated as we get more and more professional.
Experienced. Yep. And Mark Rodney Entertainment will be the banner under which we make movies.
Yep.
So when we go make a movie, it'll say Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Yeah. So you can think about it this way. Anything Brody and I do together is Mark Rodney. The client work will take place under Mark Rodney Productions. So if you know of anyone or you're trying to refer us to a business or a church or something like that, Mark Rodney Productions, that website, that channel and everything is going to be more curated for a client.
Yep. And the entertainment is going to be curated for an audience.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of how we're going to do things moving forward. So if you had heard about projects or you've been watching like stories or something on like our Mark Rodney Productions, like Instagram, go jump over and start following Mark Rodney Entertainment. Do the same thing on Facebook and do the same thing on YouTube because Mark Rodney Productions YouTube channel is going to be very different from what like you've been seeing, and a lot of that entertainment stuff is now going to continue on the entertainment channel.
It's still both of us though. We're still going. We're still like both equally in charge of both. So it just helped us, and I think it will help other people. I think it also we were running into the situation where like we're getting more and more professional, and as we're collaborating with other people in the space, like there's just less people that cross over into both worlds. Like usually you niche down into film or video, and so we wanted to have independent brands. On the business side of things, for you nerds out there, it's still one LLC. They're just going to be two separate brands, so it's still the same.
And we've talked about how that could change.
It could change in the future.
It could change in the future. As of now, though, we're doing business as Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Yep.
When we do things under that
on
banner.
The film side,
whereas Mark Rodney Productions is the LLC. But yeah, if you think about it as like the Mark Rodney banner, that probably makes the most sense.
Yep.
Mark Rodney is our company.
It's always going to be Ethan and Brody's content. Yep. On either side.
No matter what follows that.
So you hinted at some of the stuff, but can you talk about what's, how are we kicking off Mark Rodney Entertainment? What are just some of the things to expect? We just dropped a Christmas Cookie Catastrophe, which if you haven't seen it, that's kind of the second
Christmas sketch we've done.
Christmas sketch in our, hopefully, series of Christmas sketches going forward. If you remember, we launched Mark Rodney Productions with a Christmas sketch, and you wanted to do something fun. So that was actually one of the first videos, besides a little short.
The first actual video to drop on the channel.
On the entertainment channel. So that's on there already. Wingman has already dropped on there, and hopefully you've seen that already. We've done.
If you haven't, you should go check it out.
Extensive conversations. The last podcast was with John talking about that. But from this point on, what else do we have teed up already to drop on the entertainment channel?
Yeah. Before I just jump into that real quick, I do want to address something we were talking about a moment ago, which is the confusion for like as we're becoming more professional and working in the space. And I just wanted to, I thought that was good. So I wanted to touch on that just a bit further, which was, like you said, there aren't a lot of people in the industry. And when I say the industry, I'm going to combine client work and the movie industry, right? That exist in both worlds. You said that, but that is, I think we just found out how true that is working with people. And we realized that our website being a combination of the two, our Instagram being a combination of the two, makes both sides wonder what we do.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It was confusing. And like, if a client saw us making funny sketches, it was like, what do they do?
Right.
And if the movie business side saw us making like client work or doing like commercials or doing like whatever, it was like also confusing. And we were realizing that our website just was not drawing in anyone.
Right.
Really. It was confusing people, and it was like pushing people away. Like
it wasn't doing an effective job in either lane, right?
At either thing. And so I think that's where we realized, like, okay, we have to separate this into two things and try to be successful at both independently.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you looked at our websites, you can expect that there'll be a lot of construction on. We've already started on the productions channel or our website, excuse me. And as we continue to develop the entertainment channel, we're just dialing it in. This is we're going on year 2 of being in business together on.
And
Mark
it's one of the
Rodney.
things, it's like we knew one of the things Ethan and I talk about a lot behind closed doors is holding our company with open hands.
Right.
So, like, we knew going into it, we probably weren't going to get everything right from the jump. We did our best. And then as we were learning things and growing, we were realizing more and more, like, these two brands need to separate.
Yeah.
And they need to be their own brand so that they can be consistent.
Right.
I think consistency is what people look for a lot of times in a brand, whether that's a YouTube channel or an actual company. Like, what is it that you're giving me, and is it regular, consistent, and does it make sense? And so I think Mark Rodney Productions now will be more consistent and make more sense. And I think now Mark Rodney Entertainment will be more consistent and make more sense, and things will be in their rightful place. And when we're talking to people on the movie side, we can say, go to Mark Rodney Entertainment, and they'll go to all the stuff they're interested in anyway.
Right.
And the people on the production side, we can send them there, and they'll go to all the stuff they're interested in seeing, including our work. Right, we had reels and examples of our work, and everything just, when it's mixed together like that, it just gets confusing for people, and they don't know where to look, and it's overwhelming, and then they think, this is not what I was looking for.
Right, exactly.
So
and we do, like, we're very serious about both sides, and so we want to take our brand seriously, and so we thought to protect it and to keep it
we had
as
to
true
specify
to
it.
what we do. We had to get more clear on that.
Yep. So that's what that is. But to talk about this is exciting. I'm glad you're asking me this. So we'll start with the first thing that ever came out on the channel, which is a Christmas cookie catastrophe, which found out later is also a Hallmark movie. So don't watch that when you look it up. Make sure you watch our version, so much better and shorter. You don't
Featuring Paul Holloway,
yes,
and
a
his
blast from the past,
beautiful wife Emily Holloway.
Yes, they are in that video. It was good to reconnect with Paul, who, if you're fans from Take Two, was in the heist with us way back when and went to high school with us.
Yep, one of my fellow classmates.
And I say this more and more, but we got to have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Come
we
on the
plan
show,
to.
guys.
We plan to, so it'd be great. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about a Christmas cookie catastrophe with them or something like that, and our relationship with Paul from high school. But the plan that we developed from that was, so we did a Christmas sketch last year, like we said. We did this one, and Ethan kind of had this vision for, like, what if we do a Christmas, like, episode of
series.
like a
Brody's
series.
always coming to me asking about, hey, can we do, I want to do something for Christmas. So he's running ideas. Do we drop Wingman on Christmas? Do we,
Do we wait? What do we do?
And I'm like, dude, you're asking me, and it's like the middle of December. You realize, like, I have 2 family holidays to fit in, and we're traveling from Cleveland to Midwest Ohio, and then you're dropping this bomb on me. So
and I'm just like, I have an idea. Can we do it?
But I love doing it.
Yeah,
it's something
we
fun.
both do. Yeah, but it's a matter of time, energy.
So
money.
rather than waiting, I think I was like, hey man, what if we kind of made this a thing and make it?
It's easier for both of us if it's an expectation every year,
right?
And so we have fun doing them every year,
right?
We've done it 2 years in a row now, and we're like, and we enjoy the idea of bringing our friends into it and kind of keeping that going.
Fellow filmmakers in the independent space.
So we thought, by the time we're 30, we'll have a 10-episode series.
One episode drops every year. I just think that's super fun.
And people know they can tune in at Christmas time for a Brody and Ethan Christmas special.
And just know we've already started working on next year's.
We already have big plans for next year's Christmas special, and we're
we'll
very
see. I don't want to
excited.
Spoil anything. So
no, I don't want to spoil it. I won't share any story plot elements or anything like that. But we are very excited to do that, and I think it could be something that we look forward to every holiday season. And hopefully, if you like our stuff, you look forward to it too. You can be like, Brody and Ethan are doing another fun Christmas episode. So there's that. There's a little bit of what you can expect on the channel. The next thing that dropped was Wingmen.
Right.
So we talked extensively about Wingmen on our last podcast, so I won't spend too much time. But I will explain that we wrote the script, which I recently had reviewed by some software, some AI software that I like to use. And so that is still very much in our minds. And John and I, who it's kind of our writing project together, directing, acting, that sort of thing, have worked on updating the script, and we've come up with how to make the story even better, we think, and we're going to start working on a rewrite at some point. But we did set that full film, aside in order to pursue a different feature film as our first film. And there were multiple reasons for that, one of which was Wingmen was going to be more expensive to make.
Right.
It was already about $10K to do 1 day worth of Wingmen at one location. Like, it was already an expensive operation.
Yeah.
And there was only going to be more places to go.
For you math nerds out there, just calculate that over, a 3-4
over
week
at least
production.
At least 21 days minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. Plus, we didn't pay certain people that day because they were doing us favors, and that wouldn't happen on an actual production, especially actors. And so we had a lot of friends help us out there, and we still had that much of expense. So essentially, we just knew this would be a more expensive film, right? They wear expensive clothes. They go to expensive places.
Right.
The next idea that we wanted to shoot, though, that's going to be our first feature film, which you're hearing everywhere, but might as well
go ahead.
Drill it in, is Mr. Howard. So, which is about a self-absorbed teacher who just won Teacher of the Year, who gets cornered into teaching summer school with a ragtag group of less than scholarly students. Right? There's your official log line.
Yeah. Well done. You did it from memory.
But thank you. But that's kind of the story. And so, my whole family's in education.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher right now, I'm a part-time art teacher, if you didn't know that. So it was something that I felt like I could write about, that I understood, that I knew. It's an environment that I'm in a lot, and I have been in since I was a kid, with my parents both being in education, and now I'm experiencing it myself and my brother.
Right.
So I wrote that from experience, but also as something that we could film that wasn't going to be so expensive, right? Entering a classroom, you're wearing normal outfits, like everything is very normal, natural.
As you think about production, it's probably not surprising to hear, and you can figure it out yourself.
Most of it takes place at a school. It's just
not going to be as expensive to pull
expensive.
Off. And for that was enticing to us as our first feature film. And we had a couple different ideas on how we were going to approach it, but we think we're getting more clear on that.
Yeah.
And so we are in early discussions with talent, figuring out our budget, what fundraising is going to look like, and all of that.
And we're very excited, right? Yeah. And we have a fun meeting next week with some talent and all that stuff. So things are progressing really well there. Things are progressing really well there. But I blanked on what I was going to say.
The series.
The series. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. He read my mind. That's why he's here. And I'm like, family.
Family, yeah. Call back to the
series.
Christmas
The series.
Yeah.
So one way we wanted to chart, like, Mr. Howard and all of these cool things that are happening behind the scenes, and give you guys content on the entertainment channel for those of you who are interested in filmmaking and how we're doing the things we're doing, is a behind-the-scenes series showing you how we made our first feature film, because this is our first film.
Right.
And that's something that I would have really enjoyed seeing, how all that takes place, and like, how did you do that, and what were the methods.
That stuff is just trending right now on YouTube and other platforms too.
And
people want to know how it's made.
Independent filmmakers are hungry to make their movies, and they want to know how to do it.
It's becoming more and more accessible.
And so are we, and we're still learning too. And so we wanted to like take everybody on that journey and like show us failing, show us succeeding, show us like
whatever happens,
doing our best.
We're
to try to make
documenting
it
it
happen.
the best I can, or the best we can, and John is helping us in that. John Young, who was in our last episode, is actually helping film some of the stuff. So
helping film, helping to edit.
The last episode of the podcast we filmed at Schoolyard Studios, and we were there actually getting a tour to potentially use that as a filming location for either the trailer and or the
actual film itself. So this movie studio used to be and there'll be a whole episode of our like series about location scouting and like what it means to go find locations for your film. How do you get permission to film there? All that stuff. And so I'm excited for you to see that episode of the series. But yeah, we were out visiting Schoolyard Studios in the Cleveland-ish area of
Burton,
Ohio. Yes, there you go.
We quick story on that. We trudged through the snow, risked our lives getting up there. It was crazy that day.
It was.
Like, I feel like we don't have a lot of snow days or a lot of heavy snow days anymore in Ohio, but like man, it was really hitting that day. The lake effect was strong that day. Added another hour at least for me both ways, going up and down. And I was leaving from Delaware. You were leaving from Lima.
So
right.
John and I were driving together, but we did stop for food on the way back, which extended our trip. But we were originally supposed to be on the road, according to Google Maps, for about 6 hours there and back.
Yeah.
And I think it ended up being about 9.
Wow.
So definitely added at least over an hour both ways.
Yeah. It was no joke. Semis were falling off the road left.
Very
and right.
scary. Very scary. We almost got stuck. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But we did it.
We did it.
For the love of film, baby.
Yeah.
Film is forever. But so we went and they gave us a nice tour of the studios and it was great. But it used to be a school.
Yeah.
That's why it's called
Junior
School
high
Studios.
school. Yep.
And so they preserved a lot of the classrooms and the hallways. In fact, made them better even to film in.
Yep.
Meaning
fake walls.
fake walls are available to use.
Thinking about lighting. They're putting in drop ceiling to help with audio.
They're things to help reduce echo. If you're a real nerd out there, is like when you go into a classroom, a lot of times open space or hallways, stuff like that. So they're padding walls, making sure like audio is going to be better, all that stuff. So they already have this closed off environment like ready to go. And so we were just checking that out to see if it would be a good place to film. And if we end up doing it, you'll get to see firsthand what that looks like.
Well, we're going to do the best we can to document that stuff, like we said in the series.
So that series is going to be on the entertainment channel. If you were interested in those things we were talking about with Mr. Howard, like we're just going to continue to keep showing those. The first episode is going to be about writing and like how
which is already filmed and in post production.
It's in post right now as we're doing this podcast. I'm excited.
It was a lot of fun to make.
We had a lot of fun making it, and like hopefully for any of you, if you're like aspiring writers out there, you want to be a writer, you'll get something from it as well that's valuable to you.
Trying to share as many resources as we can too. We want to teach resources and entertain, right? So anything that we use, and you'll learn our process when we write together, because we have other scripts in development outside of the ones that we've already mentioned that Brody and I are writing on together. But this one, Brody wrote by himself specifically, and I've just been more of a story editor.
Helps me out when I get stuck, that sort of thing. And we talk about that in the series as well. So you can check all of that out. We'll have a nice series going on the making of that. And then we're just going to continue to have it'll be us exploring and learning more in the film space and then sharing that with you.
Right.
So we might go film a little something like we always do, a Christmas cookie catastrophe, something along those lines. And then, or like the Roger trailer, something where we want to explore a new thing or try a thing, creatively express ourselves. We're going to have a music video coming out on the channel. You hit
on the Roger trailer, but I don't know what promotion we've done for it yet, but coming soon to the Mark Rodney Entertainment channel is a fun concept trailer of a 101
fake
Dalmatians
Disney Plus movie
parody about Roger and the story of Roger meeting Pongo. And finding Pongo. Really,
right. So it's just fun, right? That's just like something fun we wanted to do, and so we went out and did it. And we wanted to share that with you.
We did it, and it just didn't feel right to release out on the production channel. Under like new circumstances and the way things are trending, it was just like it just feels
right
better
to be in the entertainment space. So that's what that space is for. We're gonna give you as much behind the scenes content on the things we make as possible.
Right. A lot of behind the scenes content.
Yeah, we want it to be an educational, like resourceful channel for you.
Yeah.
So like you get to see us making stuff, but you don't just have to watch our stuff. You get to see how it got made, what we're doing. Like if you're wondering how that's happening or you want to start making stuff yourself, there'll be resources there to help you do that. There'll be links in the description about the gear that we're using. And then, hopefully we can provide a few other fun, regular content things for you, such as I'm thinking about at this juncture doing a little interview show on the entertainment channel where I'll bring on guests and I'll interview
just something
people.
Fun and entertaining.
That we can do on a regular basis as a fun entertainment staple. Like I mentioned before we jumped into that, we're going to be having a music video come out on the channel. John and I recorded some music together, and we're gonna.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be very silly. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Very comedic and goofy.
They wanted to do it. They went and recorded some music, and like gives me an opportunity to practice my camera skills and being.
It's gonna be a huge place for our creative
like
expression, right? For you and I. Ethan loves to work behind the camera. I love to write and perform and direct and sing and all that stuff. So
dance monkey dance.
Dance. So it'll just be a good place for us to do that and then share with you our process, how it's done. And like we said, the Mark Rodney banner in general, though, will also apply to our films. So like hopefully, if we can get Mr. Howard made and we get it off the ground and people are out watching it, it'll be a Mark Rodney Entertainment film.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a little bit about Mark Rodney Entertainment, where it's going, what's going on. And then maybe I could throw it to you to kind of talk about even how, like, with the series and links in the description with like gear and like what that'll look like on the production side of things moving forward.
Yeah. So like Brody said, a lot of behind the scenes content on the entertainment channel. But the productions YouTube channel. When I say channel, I'm referring to our YouTube channels. By the way, quick caveat on that. I think we both are passionate about wanting to take YouTube a little bit more seriously. Up until now, it's just been a good way for us to share our work. But we would really like to see those channels grow. And take that more seriously. But you have to prioritize that. And so we have client work and film projects and creative things to put to all fit in the schedule. So we are trying to figure that out for ourselves now. But be patient with us as we continue to navigate the YouTube space as well.
And if you are enjoying what we're making at all in any capacity, or you know people who will, we would love it if you would push that forward and share that with people and say, hey, you should go check out Mark Rodney. Check out their productions, check out their entertainment channels. They do really fun stuff.
And this is the one time that I will give you permission that if you are more drawn to the entertainment side, you can unsubscribe from the productions channel to go watch out the entertainment stuff, or vice versa. You don't have to be subscribed to both. That's what, part of this too, is getting more specific with our audience to tailor make content that you would like. But yeah, on the production side, I think that you can think about some of the stuff, whether it's from a client project, which is some things I want to do, documentary projects. What does the rig build out look like? How did we get this cool intro? This is something that I have a lot of the assets for. I already filmed behind the scenes. It's just a matter of editing it together. Was, how did we film this cool little intro for a client of ours? But even on the film side, we'll do BTS, and that's big overarching strokes of, how this whole production
works. How are things going? How do we get the creative process going?
A little soundbite maybe from each person involved, kind of high level stuff. But I might even go more granular on the productions camera or on the productions channel and talk about what the camera build was like, or what lights and or audio system did we use.
If you're a gearhead, and if you're interested,
the productions channel will be for you.
Yes, will be for you. If you're a gearhead, and if you are interested in serving clients,
and
like what that looks like,
or running a video production,
running a business, we'll talk a lot more about business on that channel, working with clients, how we made rigs for certain things for working with clients and doing projects.
We've done some studio tours already.
Studio tours,
pulling from like what is relevant and present for us on the production side, business. Serving clients.
And so I think that's a good way. We just talk about both of them to distinguish what those will look like going forward. And like Ethan said, we are trying to just specify so that you guys as an audience can tune into what you actually want to see.
Right.
And we understand we're interesting in that we like to play both sides of that fence. And we enjoy both of those things. So we're going to try to specify things for you guys. And if you want to watch entertaining, fun stuff and behind the scenes on filmmaking and making movies and being on that side, go head over to entertainment. And if you're a gearhead and if you really like to serve some clients someday and run a video production business, stay on that Mark Rodney Productions channel or join it if you haven't already and subscribe.
Yeah. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Like we said, this podcast will continue to kind of bridge the gap between both. We'll talk about both because, as we said from our very first episode, we're multifaceted, individuals and human beings.
We like a lot of things.
Yeah. So we're gonna do what we want.
That's right. Maybe even a graphic novel. We'll leave that cliffhanger for you.
That's a hot take. Anyway, all right, bye.